Hi, this is Megan coming to you from EMELEE Outdoors, and today's video we're going to go through the EMELEE Outdoors Essentials Survival Kit and just go through some of the items that are in it so you can see what's in it. So to give you an idea of size, this is my running vest, and the pack fits inside the running vest. So you can see that it's horizontal in there, and that leaves plenty of room for a warm top, extra food, headlamp, and so on and so forth. So just to give you an idea of scale, it comes out, and now we're going to open it and see what's inside it. First of all, you have the pack itself. The pack is made from the super reflective material like you see on safety vests and some sports jackets, so you can hang it on a tree and search and rescue lights will find it a bit easier. As they see through the trees, they'll see it flash like you do with an animal's eyes. It also is waterproof and will hold about 1.5 litres of water easily, 1.75 at a push. But if you fill it up to where the top of the M is, there are that's about a litre. There are 10 water treatment tablets inside the pack, and each one of these tablets will treat a litre of water. There's instructions for use as well, so you can fill it up there's a litre, put a tablet in, and you can treat the water. We have these cloth pucks. These, you just drop them in water, add some of the water out of your bladder, and they instantly expand and turn into cloth pucks that you can use for tissues, wipes, whatever you need to do to clean yourself up. So from the survival aspect, now this is more of a survival pack than a first aid kit. Basically, it's a survival pack that has some first aid items in there. And the reason we've gone down this line is what we found, ourselves included, is when you're out in the backcountry, if you roll your ankle or you break a bone, that's not what's going to kill you. Yes, you need medical help, and yes, you need to get out to the forest. However, whilst you're sitting there waiting for help, people don't realize how cold quickly they can get in the forest. And most search and rescue call-outs involve dealing with a patient who's cold. Whatever the injury was, they have to deal with the cold issues. In 20% of those cases, the cold issues are severe enough to cause hospitalization, permanent injury, or even death. So the reason we've gone down this line is I realize I'm a runner too. You have your small little runner's vest. You can't carry everything. It's just not feasible. So you need to carry what's going to give you the most chance of surviving until help comes. So in the pack we have the foil bivy sack. This is really tall, so a 6-foot person could easily fit in this. We have the foil blanket. Now the foil blanket isn't in there for a foil blanket, it's actually in there to go with the rope. We have 4 2 meters of rope, so you can build a shelter with the foil blanket to get yourself out of the weather. And then put the poncho on. Plastic is really effective for keeping you warm. So take your pack off, put the poncho on, put the pack back on, put the hood up, put your hat back on, and try and trap the poncho to you, and that will trap in the heat. So by the time you've made your shelter, you've put your poncho on, you get in your bivy sack, you have more of a chance of staying warm long enough to last until help can come and get you. So that's way more use than having a bandage or a sling or something like that. That could save your life. The bandage isn't going to keep you warm. That is why we haven't put things like that in the pack. This is a survival pack, not a first aid pack. On the subject of keeping warm, we also have the hand warmers. These are in there for if you get cold fingers and cold hands, but they also do come in handy that you can throw them in your bivy sack and help keep you warm in the bivy sack as well. If ever I need them, I tend to use one at once just so that they last longer, and it throws off enough heat, so I'll warm one hand up, take it out, throw it in the other hand, throw it in the other glove, and just keep swapping so that you can have longer with the effects of the hand warmers. We also have these medical gloves in the pack. These actually aren't here as medical gloves for body fluids. These are really effective at keeping your hands warm. Again, like the poncho, plastic is really effective at trapping in body heat. So if your gloves are wet through and are just not working anymore, and you want to save your hand warmers for the bivy sack, put these gloves on and it will start to warm your hands up. You can put them underneath your other gloves or on top of your other gloves. It all depends how big your hands are, and they'll go a long way to keeping your hands warm as well. So you've probably spotted a big theme from this pack is staying warm, because I repeat again, most search and rescue calls have to deal with people who are cold. Whatever the reason, whether they're lost, they're injured or whatever, it's always about the cold, even in the summer. Staying on the subject of staying warm, we have some little fire starter sticks in the pack as well. And we have the fire starter strike paper, which for obvious reasons is kept separate from the fire stick so that it doesn't start on fire whilst it's in your pack. Each one of these sticks will burn about 7 minutes. So there is another tutorial that shows you how to forage for wood in either a wet or a snowy forest to find enough burning material. Use your sticks to start a fire. So now you've got your poncho, your shelter, your bivy sack, hand warmers, and now you've got a fire. So you've quite a lot of things helping you to stay warm. In the pack we also have this MultiCombo. It's a light, it's a whistle, it's a compass, and it's a thermometer. So obviously this isn't supposed to be your main light. You should carry a headlamp, but on the instances where I've had it, I've dropped the headlamp and smashed it, and now I've no headlamp. I now have a backup light. The reason we put the whistle in is your voice gets really hoarse from shouting, and a whistle travels an awful lot further in the forest than shouting does anyhow. So you've now got something that you can signal whilst you're in your shelter to call for help. We have a knife in the pack as well, so this can be used to cut things. Another thing that it's really handy for is if you have a block of wood and you need to get smaller pieces of wood off it because the wood's just too big to get the fire going, you can use this and a rock or a piece of wood and knock off chunks of wood to make smaller pieces for the fire. So that's quite handy as well. If you do have injuries, we have some steri-strips if you've got a bad injury. And what you can do with the steri-strips is put the steri-strips over the injury, duct tape the plastic bag over the injury as well, and to keep it clean, and then you're in a situation where you can get out. We have antiseptic wipes so that you can clean the wound before you put the steri-strips on. Or what you can do with a plastic bag is you can cut the corner off the plastic bag, fill it with water, and use the water to flush out the wound if there's quite a lot of dirt and debris in there and that the antiseptic wipes aren't good enough at getting that out. On the subject of wounds, for minor wounds, we have some band-aids for some minor wounds, and we also have a couple of blister pads, one for the toe, one for the heel. So the other thing, and this probably other than the painkillers is the most used item in my pack, is duct tape. It can fix a million things, so it's brilliant for that. One of the things I really use it for is blister prevention and hot spots, because I quite often find with the blister pads, especially if it's on a heel and it's rubbing, these can get rubbed off. So you can put these on for protection and then duct tape over the top, or just use the duct tape. If you need a sling, you can make a sling out of it. You can duct tape branches to legs to make a splint. There's a million things that you can use this for. It's really handy, and like I say, probably the most used item in my pack. So whilst the duct tape can be used to stick things and repair things, you've also got some zap straps. These can be really handy as well for replacing buckles from backpacks, ski boots, a variety of things that zap straps can come in handy for. If you are starting to, and you've been out longer than you expected and you've run out of food and you're starting to bonk, we do have a spare energy gel in there that'll maybe just give you enough calories to help you get back. And if you're bonking because you've sweated more than you thought you were going to do and you're low on electrolytes, we've got some electrolytes to put in your water. So these two are just kind of to give you that extra oomph if you've just gone too far, an extra oomph to try and get you back out, enough energy to get back out. If it turns out to be a nicer day than you expected, and sometimes in winter and on the shoulder seasons you can set off in the cloud and end up in the sun, there's a little pack of sun cream in there just to stop your face from frying. There've been a few. To be honest, I rarely get burnt in the summer. I usually get burnt in the winter because I'm not expecting the sun. I get up there and it's gorgeous, and so this is why we put that in there, and I've used that quite often as well. If it is buggy, we have insect repellent wipes. They're not brilliant. I don't think any insect repellent that's available in Canada is brilliant, but hey, it's better than nothing. And so if they don't work, we've got sting relief wipes. It just takes some of the sting out. And so on top of all of this lot, we actually have the instruction sheet in there as well. And it starts off with get help, call 911, where to look on some of the apps on your phone to get your coordinates so you can give exact coordinates to the search and rescue, how to use some of the items that are in your bag, just to try and calm down the panic. Because when you're in a situation where things have gone wrong and you're in a situation where you need this, sometimes the panic can take over. So just to have some instructions to just sit, breathe, calm, read. What have you got in your pack? What have you got that's available for you to use to attract the attention of the rescuers and keep you alive and safe until they can come? So this is the EMELEE Outdoors Survival Kit, and this is Megan. And if you have any question, comments or feedback, please reach out to us at emeleeoutdoors.com, and thank you for listening.